Hello, everyone. Welcome to November 7 Zeam call. We are very close to DevNet 1, and therefore we'll see how ready we are because we want to do Zeam interop for DevNet 1 maybe by Monday, and we'll go through our readiness for it as well as the updates of the team members, and then we'll discuss whatever issues or events or questions we have. Uh, so we'll open up the floor. So today we'll start with Kai.
Uh, this week, I'm working on two things. One is I'm working on the new spec test framework based on the new spike test vector PR. Basically, I already have a version, a code version on my local. Can run all the state transition spike test, except two cases which I post in the Telegram link spike. It seems in that two JSON file, the blocks field was not correct. They are they are empty array. So I just submit an issue into link spike. I hope I can make a PR next week to Zeam repo.
So if you already know what the issue is, can you just directly PR to Lean Spec repo as well? Because I mean, I think Philip is a busy guy, and that cycle would take longer time for him to address everything.
Uh, I haven't dive deep this issue, so I just focus on our works. So I we can yeah we can skip these two cases first.
Yes, okay, let's skip these two cases and let's have the PR soon because we want to basically show that we are out there. We are the first ones to get on this. And also, let's clean up the older spec tests that we have, which were basically the hard coded tests, right? So let's clean them up as well. And
Yes.
let's close any such PRs that are out there because we'll not be merging those. So Nupur, if there are old spec test PRs, please close them.
Sure.
All right, thanks, Kai. So let's move to Anshul.
Yeah, so during the week I was mostly involved in a spec PR. It took me longer than I had expected because there were like certain follow-up issues with them, and like I plan to raise a bunch of follow-up PRs on that as well to include pre-generated signatures. I already have a working prototype at my local, but how I'll move forward with that is that I'll split it down into multiple different PRs initially by adding certain functions to secret key so that we can write it in a JSON file, and this JSON file can basically serve as a pre-generated keys. And the since like right now in tests, this key generation part is taking quite long. So if we'll have it like pre-generated or stored in a JSON file, it can be easily read and written into. I have also worked upon the parent chain syncing part. Uh, I'll try to raise the PR tonight so that like we can get it merged and be ready with PQ1. There's another I still have to look into async event loop PR because there were some tests that were failing, and I think like it is part of PQ1 DevNet as well. So it has that tag. It had that tag, although I think like it is not completely necessary, but it's good if we are able to like push it out. So I think like these are the three major updates from my end. I'll try to raise the parent syncing on priority, and since I'm traveling during the weekend, I won't be doing much. But yeah, during the next week, I'll try to address the other two issues.
Actually, parent sync has lower priority than the lean spec pre-generated uh, key pairs one. So, I mean, if you can sort of get that out first, that would be better.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because then Toma is waiting on us, right? So let's unblock them.
Right. Right. But I think like I don't know like if it's that bad because locally it's still better. But yeah, I'll do that.
Right. So why do you want to plan it in multiple PRs? I didn't get the logic for that.
Yeah, so I think like right now in XMSS containers, there's secret key, and they don't have serialization, deserialization functions for that. And earlier when I had like added this PR, he said that Thomas mentioned that it's better if we can split it up into smaller PRs so that it is easy to review, and like these Serde functions will be like independent of having a script to generate the keys and then using those keys into the test cases. So I right now like I plan to split it in two, one for the Serde functions, and then I'll in another PR I'll basically add a script using which we can generate a JSON file, and I'll push the JSON file along with the PR so that while, while the tests are running, basically it will read from the JSON file. I'll load it into the XSMS key pair manager and just perform the signature and verification process.
So when you say that serialization and deserialization are not present, you mean in lean spec repos Python code?
Correct.
Got it.
I thought it's the same even in the Rust hashsig library. I think, I mean, I was facing some issues, so I had to make a copy of the code and implement certain things there as well, especially on the private key front. The public key, I think you could deserialize and serialize, but on the private key, there were some challenges with that. So the question I had for Anshul, if you can share the JSON structure with me, because I would need it as well to do my compatibility tests.
So if there is a serialization issue in private key, so how is Mercy's PR able to generate key pairs only in quick start? Because she's not
Uh,
using the Rust library.
Okay, I have to check. Maybe the problem I'm facing is different because the mine was more a compatibility reading it from the Zig implementation, but I need to see the format in which the key pairs are generated and stored in the hashsig CLI. If it's a JSON format, I think it should be okay, but I don't know.
Nupur, did you generate
Yeah,
did you try the PR?
it is a JSON. It is in JSON format. I can share what was generated. I didn't start the node using the key pairs generated, but I tested and I was able to generate the three key pairs successfully.
You
And
won't be
for
able to
which lifetime EPS? Sorry, Gajendra, go on.
you won't be able to start the node because we don't right now consume
Yeah, yeah.
signatures anyway. So
Okay.
And can I know for which lifetime was this keys generated for?
I'm not sure. I just tested Mercy's PR, so that
I think 2 to the power 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah, so that is
But
what the default she has set. I mean, you can provide it in the validator config itself. What
okay.
is the lifetime? you want, and she picks from there. So basically, this was one of the chains I got done in a PR.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, let's sort this out.
I have one doubt. So, the signing part and the verification part, I'm not sure about the verification part, but the signing is slower for keys that have like higher active epoch length, right?
I think why it would be more. I mean, the Merkle tree, the proof to Merkle tree, that path is bigger, right? If you have higher.
Hmm.
Yeah, the
Um,
traversal takes time, but it was negligible when I tested for 2 per 18. I mean, I generated for, I don't know, around 1024 active epochs.
Mhm.
I didn't see major difference. Maybe if I generate the whole tree, the signing might take longer, but I didn't see noticeable, at least on my M2 Mac.
Okay, so
Signing shouldn't take not longer in any case, because I mean the nothing really changes apart from the disk access, which might not be a problem, but maybe Anshul is dealing with Python code, right?
yeah, so I
Oh,
have
okay.
some difference, but there's significant difference in case of generating the keys. That's understandable. There's some difference in signing as well, but for the PR that I am planning to create, I'm planning to like keep it to default 30-35 epochs so that all these test cases run fine. But yeah, maybe in a follow-up year I can add more of these things, but it will unnecessarily complicate the things because for then each active epoch we'll have to keep a record of separate keys.
Yeah, so yeah, let's just currently do it for test setup, whatever is the test config for the spec, and then other issues we can try to figure out on the client side, right?
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Cool. Okay, so since Chaitanya's work is linked to this, let's move to Chaitanya.
Yep. Hello, everyone. So this week, I just worked a bit on generating the examples that we can use on testing the Poseidon hasher. So uh, that is something that I've done on that end. Apart from it, just yesterday I created the PR for the build and the CI changes for the AMD 64 build. I also tested manifests. So in case we want to take this a step further and have multi-architectural support within the builds that we are going to push to a repo. So what we would need to do over there is to have a custom runner, because the GitHub runner is standard Ubuntu running on AMD 64. But I tested myself manually and I have the scripts in case we want to add that thing. So with manifests we can do that, but also other clients do not support multi-client. I was just testing everything with lean quick start as well. So Ream definitely does not give out ARM build anyway, so if we are just fine with AMD one, I think that PR is enough to solve those build issues. I started implementing the spec PR that Anshul had created. Had a few doubts, so I connected with him just today. uh, he cleared out a few things for me, and I'm just continuing that, trying to get that done ASAP, and hopefully we'll have something out soon. Still have some minor doubts, but I would like to clarify them with myself first before putting it out, but those should be minor. So I'm doing
I
that.
suggest clearing out the doubts right away with Anshul, because we want the PR soon.
Right. Okay.
So when can you target to put the PR?
I'm targeting today itself, as you said. So Friday definitely is the target. Worst case scenario is I spend the night on it, and maybe by tomorrow morning, unless it's something really big. But I'm targeting today. Uh, so yep, that is how it is right now.
Cool. So I hope to try it out over the weekend, I guess.
Sure, definitely.
All right. Thank you, Chaitanya, and keep doing the good work. So moving to GM.
Yeah. So I fixed the provers. Okay, I fixed a prover. Yeah, I was looking a bit at breaking. I don't know if I forgot when I did it, but last week, I think that was last week. I broke the Rust libraries into several, so that yeah, created a few problems down the road. But now it's working. I am trying to get the Ketchak thing working. I mean, it looks good, but I just need to dig a bit more into the crypto to make sure I'm not committing anything that's actually not working. One thing that I noticed is that yeah, we might have a problem with the size of the block format because sorry, the signatures, because as you know, the signatures are quite large, which is what was breaking risk zero. And the reason for this is because uh, the prover program is not expecting such a large, or was not expecting such a large input, but there was also a problem with the output. And because the input is larger and the output is larger as a result, um, the current proof size is about 3 MB. That's quite large. So I'm not sure why that is, because it should be succinct and it should be capped in size, but I assume it has to do with the transcript and the values we commit to. So I have to do a bit more thinking in this respect. But yeah, at least it's working. So now when you merge PRs, the risk zero test is working, and I also have the OpenVM thing fixed, but there's no OpenVM guest program, so it's not really being tested. But that's going to be my next line. Um, so one thing I wanted to add for most people, who I assume haven't been following this development, is that now by default you compile like the default Zeam has embed zero prover, and that's because the build time and the binary size that resulted in having everything together was really slow. So now by default you get a smaller binary and you get no proving. And if you want to have Zeam with one prover enabled, you need to pass minus d prover equal. So you can see in the CI files how it's done. You can also create a file with all the provers enabled, but this is really big and it takes a long time to build. So yeah, it's not an ideal setup, but at least it's not going to block anybody else. And I can still improve the prover support and find all the bugs. Yeah, but like I said, currently the biggest, I think I am a bit worried about the size of the blocks, and it's only due to the signature size. So we're gonna have to try to change this, and it has to be changed at the spec level, I guess. I guess no other team has really tried to prove, so they haven't seen this problem. But this is not a Zig problem. This is a spec problem. So we're gonna have to start paying attention to this. I mean, okay, we don't have to do it now, but as soon as proving becomes an issue, it's going to be a big topic, I think.
Actually,
Oh.
Guillaume, so this has already been sort of spec level as well as in Zeam code, because we no more send signed beam block to the prover. We only send block, and all the signatures from the attestations have also been extracted out. So in the current work that is merged in, basically it is just the raw block. There is no signature that is going in.
Interesting. I missed this development, and I'm glad it happened. If only it had happened a tad sooner, I would have fixed I wouldn't have had to fix it. But okay, I mean, it was at least a good learning experience. Yeah, okay. I'll look into this and see if I can reduce the size of the output.
Super. That was what our previous PR was about, the spec PR 67, which Kai did, and on lean specs and actually implemented. It was, I mean, the primary reason to do was to basically extract out the signature itself, and because we wanted our state transition to be signature free in that sort. So that's why we did it. And yeah, cool. Yeah, Partha.
So, just continuing on what Gam said, I just want to understand how does this tie in with the idea of introducing a new ISA that they were discussing specifically for aggregation and signature proving, right? Would we continue to be using RISC-0 or other ZK VMs going forward, or would that task be delegated to the new ISA they were looking to build?
Um, okay, maybe you wanted to say something, Gajinder? I just have some input that I just got from Leo. Okay, I guess I'll go. Yeah, so this ISA for now, as far as I understand, but my info is from Cambridge, the Cambridge Interop. They wanted to only have the ISA for this specific the task of signature verification. So that's the
Right.
first thing. But I just learned that from Leo of Powder that they are actually thinking of using the whole thing, the Lean VM for everything, because Lean VM is super fast, which okay, makes sense. It's a very small set, so there's it's probably very easy to much easier to optimize. The thing is, of course, Zig does not support Lean VM bytecode as a backend. Rust does not, etc., etc. So what they are apparently talking about is to have cross compilation to RISC-V and or WASM, and then they would have some input, some pipeline that would take those files in the language everybody knows. Like executable files for an architecture everybody knows and understand, and then have a translation pipeline that goes and creates those Lean VM things. From what I understand, this is exactly where Leo from Powder shines. They do exactly that for they have a WASM to RISC-V pipeline that they just compile Geth with, which is super cool. And so I assume we would do the same. Like I assume this is how it would be translated. But the only official thing I've heard is that LeanVM is only targeting signature verification. It's probably going to change in the next few weeks, but currently that's, as far as I know, the official stance.
Okay. So if that's the case, then if that's the case, then taking out the signature from the STF can still continue as it is, right?
Yeah, I think that would in fact be like exactly why, because if they are verified by this alternative verifier, and in fact, so I talked to Emil. I think that was before you joined. I talked to Emil in Cambridge again, and Emil is the creator of LeanVM, and he was saying that right now translating the thing to Zig is probably too early. But we have discussed the opportunity, and if you are interested in at least creating a verifier, I think you expressed interest to going in that direction. I think you should get started on this. Maybe not today, but after I'm going to sync back with him if he's around in Buenos Aires next 2 weeks from now, and try to get some progress on whether or not on the timeline for this to happen. But just getting back to the main point I was making, if you're interested in working on a LeanVM verifier at least, I think that would be awesome.
Cool, thank you.
Super, so much exciting things are happening. And I mean, things are in flux, so we'll see what we land on. But I think signature separation is something that we anyway go with. Whether the signatures goes into state transition function or not is something that we'll figure out. Because if lean VM is doing the entire proving, then signature verification can also go inside inside lean VM. But I'm not sure. I mean, does size again, bring up challenges or not? Signature size. So we'll see how it goes about that, and then we'll modify our state transition function accordingly at that point. All right, cool. So now we can move to Nupur.
Hi. So, like the past week, I tested some PRs for Mercy, and I reviewed some of the PRs, and then I was creating rule set for all the repos for the release process, and for the Copilot issue that we had, and then I was automating GitHub and Docker release CI. I did that, and that got merged today for the hashlib thing, hash siglib, and I have to work on forward. I have to do that for Zeam, but once the Docker image issue is resolved for that, it will be done. And I reworked on writing the finalized and unfinalized index in DB and the cleanup, but uh, that got lesser priority as that because of the DevNet one. So that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Cool. With regard to the Docker build issue, I think Chaitanya put up the PR. I reviewed it. Looks fine to me. Guillaume, if you want to have a look at it.
Sure. Yes. I'm not aware of this specific issue, but if you can send it to me, I will have a look right away.
If it's the exact solution we discussed in the discussion, we just build it outside the Docker and then just copy the build image, expose it to the endpoint, mount point,
Okay.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have a quick look. And
Sure.
So if I'm happy with it, can I merge, or is there anything else? Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool. And do you have any updates on the work Mercy has done?
Yes. Just one sec. So last week, Mercy was working on the node scope logging to like Rust Bridge, and then she is working on the state transition metrics, which she has created the PRs for, and she worked on the lean quick start and hash siglib. So those were the PRs that she's worked on.
Super. Yeah, thanks. So coming to me, I've been reviewing PRs, planning some things ahead. So that is mostly what I did, and also reviewed Anshul Inspect PR and other spec PRs that are out there. Cool. So I think we should be ready for DevNet 1 interop between Zeam on over the weekend. I will then try to test it out on Lean Quick Start. So Chaitanya, in your PR, I think for Beam, for the Beam command that we have, we basically run a 2-node simulation, right? So since our CI also tested, then probably you will also need to make sure that that key pairs are generated and assigned to them. And again, for that, you might have to use a shorter lifetime so that everything works well in CI, or you might have to just generate them and add them as some fixtures in our repo, and then basically link them in the Beam sim. So let's try to make the Beam sim work first, and then we'll try to figure it out, whatever changes we require on Lean Quick Start.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you come again, please?
So in our CI, we run a beam sim, right? Whatever. So we run a sim. There is a sim CI, which basically runs the beam command, which starts two validators, right? So once you start signing, basically those two validators will need the key pair to be assigned, and you will basically either assign a smaller lifetime key pairs and generate them quickly, or you will basically need to again have some pre-existing key pairs that you will assign. Janupur.
So I think generating them previously would be better because on the run, it takes a lot of time. It takes a long time. So I think generating them previously and on the CI then and consuming them would be better.
Right. Maybe it might not take too much time for 2 to the power 4. No, not 2 to the power 5, right? Our beam sim generally completes in 20 slots, less than 20 slots. So I think 64 slot key might just be fine. But yes, so if it's taking longer, it shouldn't take longer for 64 slots or 128 slots or maximum 512 slots, right? So we can do beam sim at least in memory as well. But anyway, so if it's still not a workable solution, we can pre-gen them and link them in the fixtures and assign them. But it would be better if we sort of do it in memory and say that, okay, 64 slots or 128 slots lifetime, active lifetime we are generating it for, even though the total lifetime is sort of set in the library, which is 2 to the power 32, right? Cool. So that sounds like a plan, and hopefully we'll be able to declare that we have achieved Zeam to Zeam interop on next Wednesday call, which is our target. Yeah, Partha.
Sorry, I didn't give my update. I thought I'll do.
Oh, I thought your update was linked over there. So
Sorry. So I mean, I did two PRs, one on Zeam, where I added, I mean, error handling to the CLI app. I'm still waiting for review from GAM and yourself, Gajender. Lean Quick Start, I've addressed your comments. I removed the Kubernetes and moved it to a separate branch. So if you're happy with the current changes, we can go ahead. I've gone ahead with your suggestion of auto-generating that YAML file based on what is provided. So that is working, and I've tested it locally. It goes through. Maybe if Chaitanya has some time, if he can verify on the remote machine as well, that would be great. The latest branch. The other Zig Poseidon, whatever I tested based on HashSig library, I pushed a PR. I mean, it works for Plonky 3 as it is, but I'm open to suggestions if you want me to refactor the code and release it. But personally, I would prefer until I complete the full HashSig testing before we could change that, which I will raise as a separate PR. And an update on the HashSig, I managed to do what do you say, generate keys on Rust and verify on Zig for 2 lifetimes. I couldn't achieve it for 2 part 32 because the key generation is too long. I'm wondering if anyone has managed to generate one for 232, even for a shorter lifespan. If they can pass on the signature file to me in JSON, maybe I can use it for verification. So that is the status of my update.
got it. Also, can sort of this be parallelized? Is it basically the next next index of the key? Is it dependent upon the previous output, or can you can parallelize the leaves and sort of then end up creating the Merkle tree?
So what it usually does is when you, I mean, the key generation accepts 2 parameters: the start and the number of active epochs, right? So it creates the Merkle tree with the others as empty, and when you specify the start location, it populates the same key. So it presumes that the Merkle tree is already on disk and then continues to update it. So parallelizing, I'm not sure it would work unless you already have the structure in place.
No, if you can just parallelize the leaves, seems like you can, because if you can give the start point, then basically it means that the leaves are independent of each other, right? Leaves you can just
Correct.
generate
Yeah,
within
it is
index.
independent leaves. Yeah.
So if you can sort of generate, if you have, let's say, 10 computers, you can farm out the computation of generating these 10, and then you can collect back and form the Merkle tree.
Okay, I haven't tried that yet. I'll give that a try and see if that works.
I mean, it might take a bit longer time, but since you are working on it, so I mean, this is something that could be a very nice optimization where you have multiple threads, or again, using Ansible, you can spread out your compute.
Across multiple, yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me see. But for me, the challenge is even to generate 256 keys with the parameters specified for 2 power 32 lifetime is taking quite a long time. I don't know why. Maybe it's just my machine that's very slow. So that's why I asked, maybe has anybody managed to generate one for 2 power 32, even for a shorter active epochs? I could probably use that first for the verification and then probably go ahead with your suggestion of parallelizing the key generation for each. I mean, split it into ranges and then try to generate.
So why don't you provision again, few instances of AWS or whatever, right? And you can build them to Blockblaze to generate this terrain, right? So I guess since you are the guy in the trenches, so it would be best that you sort of dig into it and figure it out.
Okay, I'll do that.
And yeah, so if there is any machine you need to provision, feel free to do that and build it to Blockblaze.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Cool. All right, sounds good. With regard to today's call, hope no one is left now. Cool. All right. So next Friday, people will be in Dev Connect. So, Guillaume, would you be able to make it, or who else will be able to make it for the next call? Chaitanya would be able to make it. No problem.
I will be able to make it. I'm okay. I'm flying later.
Got it.
I can as well.
Cool. Kai, are you going to Dev Connect or not? Okay, Kai must be away from his station. So cool. I guess then we'll see who else can join up next time. And till then, keep doing the good work, and let's go to the DevNet 1 milestone. Thank you, guys.
Sorry, I forgot one thing. I had raised a point during the Wednesday call about tagging versions for each the Docker image. So is that something we could do? Because I haven't changed the lean quickstart to reflect the latest images. So I'll do that after Nupor's PR is merged. But is that something you're agreeing to, Kejender?
Yes, we can do that. We can actually start publishing them in Lean Quick Start as well itself, and then basically we can say that, okay, please start including in the spec or wherever the client developments are being tracked.
Okay, so we just suffix it with DevNet 0, DevNet 1, and whatever. So if we can, yeah. All right. Cheers.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you. So we'll see you next time. Take care.
Thanks. Take
Yes.
care.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.